This was in August of 1994. The baseball strike was for the MLB, Major League Baseball. There was some turmoil between the owners and the players um, when the owners decided to pass the revenue sharing. Is when everything headed south. There was a big risk that the players would actually reject it. And when they did finally see it, they did. They did decide not to go on with the owners' plan. They thought that the owners were being greedy and that they were actually stealing money from the players. For me, it was it was very disappointing. I think it was mostly devastating for baseball. I think the owners did not have a clue of the repercussions that that the strike would have. I mean, people just stopped watching. They just stopped attending. The owners lost almost $700 million due to the strike, and the players also did lose. I think it was close to 300 million. But the worst of all, it was the interest of the fans. I think that's what including myself. I mean, people just got used to not watching baseball anymore. I think that this will happen someday again. When you have so much money involved, it is hard to to negotiate, and I see both sides fighting for the last bit of penny that that they're not gonna give away any money. So yeah, I mean it's sad to admit, but that's human nature. The more money they can get, the better. Either way, owners or players. Definitely, it did change. It before. I mean, if you had these great teams involved, and you had the greatest, probably the greatest Montreal Expos team assembled, and all went to waste because of the strike. And you had this Atlanta Giants series race going on, and everything was lost. I think definitely it affected for the worst after, of course. The biggest stage is set. It's the FIFA World Cup 1994. It's in the United States. It's the time where everyone becomes a soccer fan. The excitement was everywhere. It was People were just lining up. They were watching. They were attending the games. There was games every day. My favorite game was probably my favorite and my saddest game was Mexico versus Bulgaria. Um, it was obviously it was rooting for Mexico, and they were winning almost the entire game, and almost at the end, I still remember his name. His name was Christoph Stoichkov. Out from outside of the restricted area, just throws a bomb. He kicks the ball, and it's just like a perfect angle to where it just goes into the corner of the net. It just broke my heart, and I knew at that point, with the history of Mexico, um, that there is no way that they were gonna. They always folded in penalties for some reason. They went through a stretch where they couldn't win a game in penalties. For the final, the final was here in Los Angeles. Um, it was an amazing scenario. It was an amazing environment. For some reason, Italy just folded. They could not, they they didn't come through. They cracked. Um, I vividly remember, Roberto Baggio missing, and there was a couple more Italians. They just missed the goal completely, and this was Brazil's year, and there was nothing that would stop them, and they came through, and they actually made their penalty kicks, and were able to pull it off. It was really exciting. It was it definitely, I think it brought people and together, um, and it's such a peaceful sport that it's amazing what it does. Fans everywhere just getting together and enjoying a soccer game. I know that the U.S. is not the biggest soccer country, fans in the world, but it's during that time, it just brought to their attention, how the effects of soccer could be, and it just brought joy. Thank you for watching Big Sal Productions.